What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media. Hope everyone's having a great day. Breaking news out of Seattle or out of Denver. Actually, out of both. Seattle trading their Super Bowl winning quarterback, Russell Wilson, to the Denver Broncos. This news breaking today after numerous rumors. I kind of paused there. I didn't know if I wanted to say numerous days, although it has been numerous days. I mean, it's been since the season ended. There were questions. There were rumors. We didn't know where he was going to go. Then the past couple days here, as I record this on Tuesday, March 8th, there were plenty of rumors that he was going to go to Denver. It is official that the Seattle Seahawks are trading their longtime quarterback in Russell Wilson, right? Is this a good fit? Is this a good move? Should they have really messed with him? They also are getting in exchange Drew Locke and Noah Fant, former Iowa Hawkeye, a tight end going to Seattle there. Overall, here's how I feel about this. And let me share screen too. I like to quote sources, but this one put out on the ESPN website. Here you see Adam Rittenberg there, or Adam Schefter, I'm sorry. After weeks of negotiations and one of the biggest trades in NFL history, which honestly I would actually have to agree with that. It is a pretty big trade. The Denver Broncos have agreed to send a significant package of players and draft picks to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson, sources told ESPN. And here's the agreement. They have agreed to trade quarterback Drew Locke, who was from Missouri. They picked up, I believe, in the 2020 draft, somewhere around the second round. Tight end Noah Fant, and defensive lineman Shelby Harris. They're sending 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick to the Seahawks for Wilson. And this year, I'm assuming their 4th-round pick. The trade gives Denver the quarterback it had sought since Peyton Manning retired. Basically, let's pause right there. This is true. Ever since Peyton Manning has retired after Super Bowl 50, the Broncos have yet to find that quarterback. Now they have that in Russell Wilson. Wilson's not a bad guy. He's got a great heart. He's a very good human being, a very faithful man, and he's also a really great quarterback. Let me just say this about Russell Wilson is I don't want to say that he wasn't right for Seattle, but the past couple of years, I think, and just everything going on, I don't know if Pete Carroll and the Seahawks were right for him. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. Russell Wilson, right? We're talking about this man here. He is incredible. He did pretty good at UWM or whatever. What was it? Wisconsin-Madison, where he went. I mean, it was one of those smaller schools. Or I guess it was actually Wisconsin. Wisconsin-Madison, whatever. Madison, Wisconsin. It is so weird. It's the University of Wisconsin, but it has 2 different names. I don't get it. But anyway, now he transferred. You go back to his collegiate career. During the 2007 season, he was a red shirt at NC State. He sat on the bench. He finally starts as the starting quarterback in 2009. Has over 3,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 picks. Great. But they finished with a 5-7 record. They go on to win a bowl game. And he leads them to a bowl win at NC State in 2010. Then he transfers over to Wisconsin. And he was on the 2011 Wisconsin Badgers football team. And he did really good. Overall in his collegiate career, he had 907 completions, over 1,000 yards, and passing, actually really over 11,000 yards. He had over 1,000 attempts. Basically, he did great. Then he gets to the Seahawks. He gets drafted, right? He did great. Overall, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to go through the history of Russell Wilson, but I think this is more so a loss for the Seahawks than it is a win for the Broncos. Now, then again, Drew Locke is going to Seattle. I want to hear what you guys think about Drew Locke because I liked him at Missouri. I thought he did great. I thought that he had some good games and he's got a strong arm. I think that maybe he could be a franchise guy depending on where he goes, but it's clear that Denver just wasn't going to work out. They were looking to get rid of him, but more so they were also just looking to get Russell Wilson. And it's official. He will be the quarterback for the Broncos. And the Broncos, I think, have the talent. But, man, ever since Peyton Manning, they have yet to get that franchise guy. But is it really – I mean, is Drew Locke now going to be the starter for Seattle? This past year with the Broncos, which, by the way, he was 42nd overall in the 2019 draft in round 2. Let me share screen his stats. Let's look at Drew Locke real quick. Overall – so far, honestly, when he has taken the field, he's done okay. But it hasn't been much. Last season, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 787 yards in passing. He had a 60 completion percentage, right? But I don't understand. I mean, they also had Teddy Bridgewater, so – like, he really hasn't been that guy. There's always been a veteran or a bigger name ahead of him. So, let me ask you this. You got to think and put this in the perspective of the Seahawks. They actually said yes to a trade where they got rid of their Pro Bowl type of quarterback. And then you have them saying yes. They're saying, yeah, we'll get rid of Wilson, but also we're going to bring in Drew Locke. Now, I like Noah Fant. I think he's done great as a tight end. Also, Shelby Harris, by the way, is a linebacker who was drafted in the 7th round, actually by Oakland, ended up being traded a couple years ago. He's a defensive back, linebacker type of guy. This past season, he had a forced fumble. He had 6 sacks. He had 24 tackles on his own. There's some young guys that they're getting. There's some guys that on paper, they don't have the stats, but I think if you give them time and work with them on the field, I think the Seahawks, what they're bringing in after losing Russell Wilson, which I really do think that's a big blow to them. I'm serious. I don't think that it was right for Seattle to get rid of Russell Wilson. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I don't understand. I never really heard anything about Wilson wanted to get out of there. Did he? Because last I checked, I thought Pete Carroll was trying to get rid of him, or the Seahawks just wanted something different. They wanted it. I don't know. But it's official that he's going to Denver now. Overall, when I look at this, is Drew Locke the bigger question? I know that I am confident going into the draft. If they draft this draft now for Denver, forget drafting a quarterback. It's drafting for a quarterback. Now you go in. Of course, you got guys on the defensive side of the ball. You got Bradley Chubb and company, but you got the offensive line. You got to step that up. Do you go after a running back? What do you do if you're the Broncos? You got to build for Russell Wilson. This is his city now in Denver. And it also, folks, think about this. The headlines are he's going to Denver. He's going to Denver. Think about the AFC West. Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, who I think it still needs to be, I still think can have a bright future, but if you draft right, you could get him his pieces in LA. Think about now – Russell Wilson. The Broncos have their quarterback. They have their quarterback in one of the more intriguing divisions in the NFL in the AFC West. Does this at least gets them a step forward to, um, you know, being, how do I put it? Like, it gets them a step forward to being where they want to be, right? And of course, this past season they worked with Teddy Bridgewater. Again, they're trading. They still got Teddy Bridgewater, right? But it's so weird though, because even Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, is like he did pretty good for him. He had 18 touchdowns. I don't think that's too bad. Over 3,000 yards passing. But what does that say about Bridgewater that they went after a quarterback in Russell Wilson? It's one thing. There's a big difference in going after a veteran MVP caliber type of guy like Wilson and then waiting to draft a young rookie, which obviously Drew Locke is still that young rookie, but I mean, that's who they're getting rid of. What does this say? I mean, clearly the Broncos won this one. I don't want to say they screwed Seattle, but I don't know. Like, it just makes things more interesting. And by the way, again, I'll share a screen here and show you guys this just real quick. Let's see. This is from MileHighReport.com, a Bronco Denver website. Broncos sending 3 players: Drew Locke, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, a 5th-rounder for Russell Wilson, and a 4th-round pick. So the Seahawks get 2 first-round picks, 2nd-round picks, 5th round, Drew Locke, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant. Broncos get a 4th-round pick, and, of course, Russell Wilson. It goes on. As it stands right now, the Broncos offense still looks like this. Let me zoom in on this just a little bit. Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, my guy, KJ Hamler. See, that's the thing. They have some good weapons. Like, I've heard a lot of great things about Hamler. You got Jerry Jeudy. He hasn't faded since he left Alabama. Cortland Sutton. You got those guys on there. You just need that quarterback. Russell Wilson, with what the Broncos have offensively, is going to be awesome. Holy cow. And by the way, it goes on to say Wilson, currently under the final 2 years of his deal, will cost $19 million in salary in 2022 and $22 million in 23. The Broncos have over $41 million in salary cap, can easily absorb this trade. So it's not really costing them much. It's not taking up too much space. And then it goes on. I would expect some sort of contract extension to keep Wilson here longer. Oh, of course. I mean, look, Wilson's nowhere near a retirement level. By the way, this put out by Tim Lynch and Scotty Payne earlier this afternoon. But yes, you could expect them to continue the contract he had with Seattle on 2 years, but in 2 years, you could probably expect them to give him a bigger deal. But overall, I'll say this. I really think that losing this, I mean, clearly the Broncos won this deal getting a franchise quarterback, which they need. But let me ask y'all this in the comments, right? How long do you expect them to keep Russell Wilson? Is this a long-term thing? Because, like I said, I don't think Wilson's anywhere near retirement. He's only been in the league for only, 8 years? I mean, he's still young. Actually, 10 years. 2012, he was drafted in the 3rd round. So he's still got, sometimes or some time left in him. And he set practically all of Seattle's offensive records, most games with a passing touchdown in his career, most pass completions in a season. most passing touchdowns in a Seahawk rookie season, most passing touchdowns, period, in his career, most passing yard. I mean, he's done everything. He did everything for Seattle. He accomplished everything in Seattle. He hasn't been anywhere else, but also, why though? Why? Like, I don't get why the Seahawks are actually trying to get rid of this guy. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. But credit to the Broncos. They clearly won this trade. And again, I'm not going to dish on Drew Locke or anything. I think if you put him in the right situation, I like Drew Locke at Mizzou. I liked him a little bit when he started out for Denver when they first drafted him, and he played a little in his rookie year. Why they didn't stick to him, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, it just wasn't working out. So what do? They go get guys like Bridgewater or whoever. I like Drew Locke. Can Pete Carroll work with Drew Locke? Honestly, I think so. I know maybe that's crazy, but I think you should give him a chance, start him right away, and see what Drew Locke can do. And Noah Fant, by the way, going with him. So teammates paired up. You get a great tight end there. I think the Seahawks have needed a good tight end like that for a little while. And, you know, overall, we'll see what happens. But overall, long term, I don't know what to expect long term. It's possible he goes to Denver and doesn't do well. But overall, I mean, I think this is a huge steal and a pickup for the Denver Broncos. They've just gone back and forth. Is it Drew Locke? Is it Bridgewater? Is it who they have? Joe Flacco? They had some guy named Trevor Siemian a few years back, like the first guy they had after Manning retired. It was crazy. It's like, who is this guy? Then we know these names. We've heard about them. People talk about them. We hype them up, and they're not any good. But Russell Wilson has been there, done that. When's the last time? I guess they really haven't gone after a true, good enough veteran quarterback, which I don't know if Wilson is. When I say veteran quarterback, don't you just think of the older guys like Tom Brady or Big Ben who are retired now? But I know Wilson's still young. But when's the last time they went over and got a true day one, no questions asked, franchise type of guy that's been there, done that with another team? When's the last time they did that? I guess when they went to the Colts and took Peyton Manning. Well, now they got Russell Wilson from the Seahawks in Denver, and it's just going to make things more interesting in the AFC West, folks. You imagine this class: Herbert, Mahomes, Derek Carr, who I think is still pretty good, honestly. Now Russell Wilson with the Broncos. Y'all watch out for the AFC West this year. I'm telling you. I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments section what you think about this trade. Who won it? Who's the biggest loser in this one? Is Russell Wilson going to be happy in Denver? We'll see what happens. I love y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content, folks. And until next time, Ballard Sports Media, checking out. Love y'all. God bless. And as always, from an Alabama fan, roll Tide. And go Lions. Woo! Ballard's out.